Well, every year, an estimated 1,400 babies are born to women in custody. That's according to Johns Hopkins. Up until yesterday here in Indiana, those women were giving birth while being shackled to their bed. Our Emily Longnecker spoke with a woman about what she calls a traumatizing experience that changed her forever.
I want to be here and I want to be present and just be the best mom that I can be.
That's what 36-year-old Christina Kovitz has strived for every day since the birth of her 6-month-old daughter Tegan.
I just try and soak up and enjoy every moment that I can get with her.
Every moment with Tegan even more precious when Christina considers the one she missed with her 3 older children.
Take a step.
While she was in the Indiana Women's Prison for 6 years. In 2011, Christina was convicted of neglect of a dependent.
I was a CNA and I got into a car accident with the woman I took care of.
A week later, Christina found out she was pregnant.
Having a child is supposed to be one of the happiest moments of your life.
Instead, for Christina, the birth of her 3rd child, a little girl, was one of the most traumatic. A moment she still has nightmares about.
The entire time that I was at the hospital, I was chained to the bed. And that includes labor, delivery, and after I had her too, post-delivery.
Her left ankle in a shackle with a chain on it, attached to her bed.
It was just this big, heavy chain that was piled up at the end of my bed, like an animal, you know? I feel like an animal, caged, you know?
It never came off, not when they gave Christina an epidural for her labor pains, not during each contraction that hit, and not in the exact moment when her baby came into this world.
It's the most painful and traumatic thing that I can recall.
So, like you're in labor pushing and you're chained to a bed?
Yes.
And Christina stayed like that, even in the precious 36 hours she had to hold and bond with her baby before going back to prison without her.
I had nightmares. I still do have nightmares.
Governor Holcomb signed into law Thursday a bill that will prevent what happened to Christina and other pregnant inmates from happening anymore in Indiana.
It's unnecessary, it's inhumane, and it's unsafe.
Indiana Representative Rita Fleming, a retired OBGYN, authored the bill that passed unanimously this session in both the Indiana House and Senate. The law prevents unnecessary restraints being used on pregnant inmates at the state or local level. Inmates who are either in their 2nd and 3rd trimester, who are in labor or delivery, or who have just had their baby.
This bill is very personal to me.
Christina testified before Indiana lawmakers in support of the proposed law.
Before the law's passage, Indiana was one of less than 20 states that still allowed pregnant inmates to be shackled.
A 2017 report from the American Psychological Association found that shackling pregnant inmates during delivery can risk the life of the mother and baby if there's an emergency, and often leads to trauma and post-traumatic stress for the mother. The study also found no instances of an incarcerated woman in labor trying to escape. A spokesperson for the Indiana Department of Corrections wouldn't comment on the bill, only to say that since 2016, it was policy not to restrain an incarcerated woman in active labor. Christina, who was released in 2017, says it was still going on while she was there, and still is.
I know that it absolutely is still taking place. If you're not doing it, then why would it be an issue?
Even 9 years after Christina gave birth chained to a bed, she's never shared that with her little girl, and probably won't.
I think that just might be kind of my demon to carry.
And carry it, Christina does.
Yes!
Even now, after having baby Tegan. Taking comfort, though, no other incarcerated pregnant women in Indiana will have to after today.
We reached out to the Indiana Department of Corrections. They sent us a statement saying, in part, their goal is for incarcerated women to have a positive birth experience without restraints. But they said, quote, in instances where public safety or security is a concern, restraints may still be utilized.